Welcome to NocBro Nation.
What's up?
Hey guys, today we're here to review Walking Dead issue 180.
New World Order
Part 6 of
6. Now, first impressions, it wasn't what I expected. I wouldn't say I expected like a battle to ensue. I don't know what I expected, but I enjoyed it. I really did.
Yeah, I did
It's
too.
going to lead into the next issues, but
Yeah.
I don't know what I expected something more drastic to happen.
I did too. I guess you expected a little bit more action in there, right?
Maybe the cover fooled me.
Yeah,
I mean,
look, that happens a lot with The Walking Dead.
Yeah, but it was great. It led to a lot of cool stuff and kind of a lot of who's the better leader back and forth in this issue. So
a little bit of measuring going on.
Measuring.
So yeah, I mean, I hope that for the next arc, because this is the end of the arc. Typically, at least as of late, we've been getting like a number of issues, like maybe 5, 6, whatever, before the next major arc comes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just hoping that we don't see a new war. You know, like
Battle of the Commonwealth.
I don't want another war.
I don't either.
You
I
know?
really don't. But then it's like, well, what would you want? You know,
Find something different.
Yeah.
It's a whole world. Find something different.
Yeah. No war. Don't need another war.
Yeah. Anyway,
So-
let's get out of that and let's start reviewing.
So we pick up with Michonne and Lance and Elodie. Lance is bringing them, or Lance summoned them, I would say, to a house. And Michonne was assuming they were there for a meeting. And Lance is like, no, this is your home.
Well, yeah. I think she says something like, "This is a nice place you have."
Yeah, she thought it was his.
Yeah, and he's like, "No, this is yours." And it's kind of like one of them high scale, contemporary type houses or apartments, lofts, whatever.
Yeah, we didn't see the outside of it.
It looks like an apartment or a loft.
Yeah, it looks like it. And she's kind of taken back by it. She's just kind of like, I agreed to practice law here, and this is what you give me.
Yeah.
This is it, like, not like this is it, but this is what you do for people, because we know the Commonwealth, they pride themselves on what you did in the past life. So if you, like her, you were a lawyer, you were high up there in society, you're going to get high level perks, and that's their thing. And even Lance called it our rule of law.
Yeah,
our rule of law is this, to pamper you because you were awesome in the real world.
Yeah, and he says, look, we have a number of lawyers here, but none of your
expertise.
With your expertise.
Yeah.
And he's pimping it up and says, he's taken back because first of all, she is not excited about the apartment.
She's not reacting the way that
she's not. He's like, I didn't expect for you to react like this.
Yeah.
He expects, open arms. Thank you so much for giving me this.
Let me bow to
exactly.
you.
And that wasn't the case. Here's Michonne having gone through everything that they've been through, and she's more like, maybe we should share this with everyone.
Right. And that's because of her mentality and what they've gone through with Rick. That's just, they're a close group of people, but they didn't expect to, everyone's equal basically in Rick's world and Rick's group. And so, Elodie's kind of like saying, so are we cool? Are we going to stay? And it seems like they're going to stay. And then we kind of get a look from the outside. It looks like, they got like windows everywhere, like a massive skylight. I think that was just like the living room. Yeah. Like there are other rooms that we don't see, but it's
Elodie's going to help her move into her new law office.
Yeah.
Lance actually told Michonne, hey, why don't you have her quit the bakery?
Right.
Have her help you move into your new law office. Mm-hmm. Elodie actually wants to move in the guest bedroom of the loft or apartment. So and then at the end we get a smile from Michonne, kind of like
smiles.
All right, I'm taking it in. I'm going to take the apartment.
I'm cool with it. Yeah. So it was pretty cool. We get back with Dwight, and I can't remember for the life of me this girl's name that he's kind of been seeing ever since Sherry left.
Let's call her a Rot.
Let's call her a Rot. She looks like kind of like a Rot from The Walking Dead TV show.
So in comes Dwight, or I like to say, little bitch, because that's what he's been acting like lately.
Yeah.
And he's essentially, he's coming in and is it, asking her, is it too late to talk? Is it too late to make amends? Is it too late for us, right? Yeah. To start what we had prior to me being a little bitch and going after Rick.
Yeah.
Right?
She wants to have a relationship, and she knew that, basically she wants Dwight to get over Sherry. Sherry was crazy. She left him. She did terrible things. Just get over it. And if you want to move on with me, I'm here for you, basically. Yeah. And Dwight even goes in. He's like, look, I've come to terms with, why she betrayed me and why she was the way she was. And even the girl was like, she was crazy. And Dwight gave her this mean look. She's like, okay, sorry, too much.
She called her a crazy bitch.
Yeah. And then she kind of muffled it on her. Well, she was a crazy bitch.
Yeah. But, she was crazy, though.
Yeah, she was crazy.
Right. So, he's saying... she says, I take it you're going to make up with Rick. And he says, yeah, I was hoping that you would come with me to do that. So the plan is for her to go with Dwight to kind of talk to Rick and make amends.
Yep. And then we get to the arrivals. So Eugene and crew have arrived with Governor Pamela. And Dwight sees this and he's like, all right, go round up the army.
Round up the army.
Just in case.
Now, keep in mind that as the Commonwealth, or the governor of the Commonwealth, was making their way, Eugene split them up as a way to get the Commonwealth army a few hours behind, right?
To not have this massive army coming at once.
It was a tactic for Eugene to do that so that the army didn't roll up on Alexandria and basically alarm Rick or kind of scare, frighten, the citizens of Alexandria.
To do it so Eugene can get there in time to kind of tell Rick about, hey, this is who they are, and they have their other, 40 soldiers or so a couple hours behind, which are still coming, just to let you know.
Now, the governor actually picks up on this.
She does, after they arrive. She's like, so Eugene, is so smart of you to split us up like that and have my armies like a couple hours behind. And I mean, she wasn't pissed about it. I mean, she
wasn't pissed. I mean,
she was kind of,
I think she knows. I think she has a pretty good idea.
Yeah, she's like, very impressive maneuver. And then we get this page where you see Rick saying, oh my God, what happened? Well, it's Eugene
holding Michonne's
sword. Yeah. So the look on his face is like, he probably immediately thought she died.
Yeah. And this is uncharted territory.
It is.
They found another community. They tracked to that community, traveled, found that community. And here's Eugene handing a sword without saying anything, I'm assuming.
At first, and then it seems like he's trying to quickly say, hey, she's fine, she's cool, she found her daughter Elodie, she's alive. And Rick was taken back by that.
He's like, how is that even possible?
He's like, oh my God, she's alive? How is that possible? And in the end, Rick was like, she's like,
happy for Michonne.
He's happy for Michonne. She's like, she wants to stay there. She's, it's at the place is called the Commonwealth, and they're outside actually, right now. And Rick says, tell me everything you know about them before I go out there.
Yeah.
So he wants to have all the deets before he even heads outside. All the deets. And so we get the panel of basically close to the cover, but he's standing the same way where he's kind of looking like he's hunched over, but Rick goes out and meets the governor.
Yeah, and probably one of the most amazing things that I loved about this interaction right away was she introduces herself as Governor Pamela Milton. Right away, Rick says, Governor.
And
with a question mark.
And all of us, probably, the comic book readers, flashback. Like
knew immediately. Exactly. And here he is like, Governor, are you serious?
Yeah. Like I had a flashback of him, like the first, seeing the governor is like, boom.
Now, he eventually tells Governor Milton, Pamela Milton, why he was kind of acting that way when she first announced herself. Yeah. We'll get into that, though.
We'll get into that. Princess actually jumps off her horse, runs up immediately to him. Oh my God, you're Rick Grimes. It's so awesome to meet you. I can't wait.
I've heard so much about you.
Yeah, like I met up with your crew in Pittsburgh. And she's just like,
which is funny because
super ecstatic about it.
Rick actually thinks that the princess is a part of the Commonwealth community. And no, it turns out that she was, found in Pittsburgh, and he's kind of taken back by her personality.
He is. And so basically pretty much the majority of the rest of the comic is the interaction between Rick and Governor Milton.
Yeah.
It's them talking to each other, trying to find out as much information as they can, and kind of also giving a little bit of jabs at each other, because the more and more they speak, their leadership qualities and how they are different come out, and they kind of question
it was
each other.
really neat to see the dialogue and how it progressed through the comic. At first, it kind of started with, I got the sense of like a flirty type conversation. Then it started into more banter, and then it ended.
Right. You
kind of think on not so much good terms. So it starts off with, they describe what they've been through. And one of the things that Rick says is, we'll have to trade war stories. And immediately the governor's like, well, we haven't been
we don't
in
have
any wars.
And Rick's like, well, I wish I could say the same. Yeah. So that right there tells you that the Commonwealth has built, they've just built everything up. They put walls up and they just stay there.
We assume,
yes.
Again, excuse me. We don't know too much about the Commonwealth.
Right.
Like, look, we've seen a couple of shots of maybe 30, 50, 100 people.
Not 50,000.
But we have not seen 50,000.
Right.
And we have not seen other sections of the Commonwealth community.
Right.
So we don't even really know if they're just saying that they have 50,000 people there.
Yeah, we have no idea.
As a facade, right?
Yeah, true. And then we kind of get, it's kind of going nice for just a couple minutes where they're talking, and then all of a sudden, Governor looks behind Rick, and she's like, well, it looks like something's about to get a little unsafe here. And that is because...
Well, first, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but the first thing that's discussed is... Rick wants to talk to her privately, right? And he says to her, I think that we should do this, send people out, right?
Yeah, he's like, I've been told that you have a platoon on the way, that are going to be here soon.
And now he wants to send Mercer.
Well, he wants to send, like, a couple guys out to go meet them
with her
people, and then she does offer up Mercer at some point.
Now this kind of takes her off guard, because she says something like, oh, you're going to leave me here and send all my people out to we typically don't let our people outside of the gates, is what she says.
And what Rick actually is wanting to do is he's wanting her unit to stay out in those grounds. He wants them to stay away, and she's concerned that it's not safe out there. And he's like, the grounds outside of Alexandria are safe
because they're patrolled.
They're patrolled, and we have kind of guard stations up there.
And it's kind of what we were going on the lines of, if those troops were to come towards Alexandria, it would scare the people, and that's what Rick wants. Right. He doesn't want his people to be scared and frightened of 300 and some troops coming to the front gates of Alexandria.
Yeah. So, and then that's when Governor kind of looks behind Rick and thinks that, looks like I'm not going to be safe here. And we see Dwight rolling up, and Rick's kind of pissed.
Dwight's just, it's bad timing.
Bad timing.
Really bad timing, because here's Dwight wanting to prove himself to Rick, and he immediately, on his horse with the army behind him, says, if you think you can just waltz in here and show us, right, you are sorely mistaken.
Right. So Rick is like telling him, stand down, it's cool, but he's like, look, Dwight's the leader of our military, he's just making sure that we're safe. Rick's kind of doing it the diplomatic way, like, it's cool, he's just wanting us to be safe. He's like, how about I send a couple of our guys, you send a couple of your guys, we'll go meet your army out there, so they'll stay in those grounds. And that's where Pamela offers Mercer to go with. So
and she and Rick actually says, matter of fact, since my army's here, it would actually be better if my army escorted your soldier to your battalion. Yeah, because we don't know what's going to happen if he just goes on his own. Yeah, and the governor's like, pretty sure Mercer's going to be okay.
Yeah, So Dwight takes a couple people. He takes Laura, Heath, and like one other person, and they kind of head their way. And then the tour begins. Rick offers to have her go on the tour, so they're they're walking around, they're having a good time. No. The interaction's funny. I mean, it's just he's showing them the so he kind of goes into the discussion. He kind of talks about oh no, Pamela says, how did you lose your hand?
Yes.
And this is where he goes in and talks about how they met a new group. He called himself the governor. He seemed very nice at first, and then
to intimidate Rick, he cut his hand off. Yeah. And Pamela is actually shocked about this. And because, look, she's never been in any type of war, so when she hears something like this, an evil person that's like this, she immediately says, look, I'm so sorry. Please do not call me the governor anymore. Call me Pamela.
Yeah, exactly. So they're just...
So it's friendly.
It's
right?
friendly.
It's friendly. Yeah, I mean, he takes her to the mill, shows her the mill.
Tells her the mill, yeah. Tells that Eugene helped build it and get it working. And he was like, I'm kind of surprised that you don't have like 10 Eugenes at the Commonwealth.
Well, yeah, and the reason why he says that is because, look, it's a huge community. And she says, we have a few people like Eugene. And she actually offers Rick or actually asks Rick if Eugene can join the Commonwealth.
Yeah. And that's why he's like, I figured with your numbers, you should have 10 or 20 or however many.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it kind of says something too. Like if you have 50,000 people, there's out of 50,000, there's not a lot of people like Eugene that could figure out how to make a mill.
Yeah. Yeah. So he shows her the apple, which she
apple trees.
The apples.
Yeah, the apple trees, and she loves it. And then this is where things kind of start not going downhill, but they start coming out more. So he offers to show where he lives. And so he's like, that's my house down the road. And she's very confused. She's like, so you live in the same area as your people? And he's like, yeah, we're all equals here. Mm-hmm. And Pamela does not understand this because in the Commonwealth society, she calls it like everyone needs a ladder.
Yeah.
Meaning she sits up top and the people below, to get inspired, need to be able to work, do their jobs, and climb that ladder to get to where she is to have better housing.
But they also need to look up to her.
Exactly.
Her as the governor, high in this stature, this community, they need to be able to look up at her as an example.
Yeah. And she kind of explains how, people who, whatever you did in your past life, that grants you that in this world now. And Rick was like, she even asked him, well, what did you do? He was like, I was a small town cop. My house in the real world is smaller than this house that I have right here.
And he agrees with her. He's like, I suppose so, right? When she explains the ladder theory.
Right.
And he says,
to look up to them, yeah.
But people should look up to you because of what you've done.
Exactly.
Not because of who you are.
Right. He's like, what you did in the previous life in this world means nothing.
Yeah.
It means nothing. You don't need to we need to earn our place in this new world.
Yeah.
Not just have it because of what we did previously. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and whatever, I love the line because he says, in whatever status we established in life before, died with that life.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
It's and Pamela just doesn't understand it. She's like, look, she's kind of saying our people are fair, we do things fairly, but and she's like, you have a problem with that? You have a problem with what we're doing at the Commonwealth?
Yeah, and I think she kind of gets offended with what he's saying to her because he's sitting here saying, well, what I have, I earned. Mm-hmm. In this new world, we need to earn our place.
Yeah, we got to earn our place. We build everything on a foundation, and why burdening it with, and what do you say? Why run it by burdening it with supporting others? I mean, it's just going crazy.
Yeah.
Well, he's not going crazy, but it's just interesting of the thought process.
It's
between
two different people on two completely different paths. Yeah. I mean, this is like, I'm not bringing politics in this at all, but this is like a Democrat versus a Republican here. Right. I mean, they are just not going to see each other's sides. I mean, they're not going to, they don't get it.
Right. She's kind of saying, look, the people at the bottom are our foundation. You have to build on a foundation, and that's what they're for, to where the people up top who are sitting on this foundation can kind of sit easy and be cool. But those people down there need to have something to strive towards, that ladder again, so to speak. And Pamela says to her, well, that's the world order and always has been. And at the end of this comic, Rick says,
then maybe we need a new world order.
Yeah. Friction.
And you see a pissed off look on Governor Milton as the last panel. Now, I loved the interaction. I think, a lot of people were saying this issue didn't have that much action. This arc didn't have that much action. I love the dialogue. There was a lot of dialogue, and I think that's what this arc was meant for. It wasn't just an arc of war. It was an arc of discovery, in my opinion.
Exactly. And that, I mean, like I said, like that's why it was, completely not what I expected, but I really enjoyed it. I don't want a war with the Commonwealth. Because honestly, the more and more I read this thing, I don't think that they have the numbers. I'm thinking they're using that as a ploy to keep people away. That's why they haven't been in any wars. Because, I mean, most people, if you say, yeah, we got 50,000 people, do you really want to mess with us? Test us. If people really want to try it, they'll try it and see. And most people might be like, okay, we're out.
Maybe they do have the numbers. I don't know. But that's not what this arc was about.
No,
this arc was about
discovery. Right. And which new world order would you want to be on? Would you want to be with one where what you did in the previous life, that's what you get? Or do you want to build a community around everyone who's equal and earn your place and support each other in this new world?
Yeah, I mean, if you take a look at Michonne's example, she walked into that community not doing a damn thing, and she was given a high-class apartment with a guest bedroom, all for doing what she did in the previous life. Now, take I'm just going to throw an example out there, a steel worker that was there in pre-apocalyptic times.
Right.
What if he saved his entire life and was a millionaire by the time he retired? Right. Apocalypse happens, and all of a sudden now he finds the Commonwealth and has to be a steel worker.
Yeah, in a shack.
Doing nothing when he just came from being a retired millionaire because he saved his entire life. Yeah. Like, he earned that, and when he comes to the Commonwealth, it all goes away because they don't believe in earning.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, they just believe on status. That's all they're about. They're kind of like you would say, like a kingdom, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get the king, and then you get the nobles, and then you get just the regular people. It's just
a mob
that way too. But I enjoyed it. It was a great arc. I can't wait for the next issue. It's going to be getting crazier. We do know in the next, I think, issue 182, the Commonwealth does, or Pamela
181
or 181 is it? Is the next issue?
181 is the next issue, but I don't think that's the one where she talks to John.
I think that's 182.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. How that interaction will be. Her trying to bring in more people.
181 is the equivalent of 92, which is the princess.
Mercer.
The spear and Mercer in the background.
Yeah.
Which in 92 was Michonne and then Abraham.
Yep. That's going to be cool.
I believe that's 181. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Issue 183 could be the one we're talking about.
We're off,
and 182 could be, which would make sense. 182, 92. I don't know. We're probably completely wrong.
I think you might be right. I think it's 182. Okay. The one, yeah. So either way, great comic, great issue. Really enjoyed this arc, and I can't wait for the next.
Yeah, guys, let us know what you think of the New World Order arc since it is now over. Part 6 of 6 just came out. Let us know what you think. Speaking of that, issue 180. Follow us at NocBro Nation on Twitter. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Yes, indeed, guys. And hopefully you also picked up the Alpha variant from Bill Sienkiewicz.
I love the
Very
Alpha
sick,
variant.
Glorious. We love it. Pick that up. I picked up 2 myself.
I did too.
And
it's my favorite one.
We love it. Yeah, we absolutely love it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support and the videos, the likes, the comments. We really appreciate it. We'll see you guys soon. We're NocBro Nation. We're out.